Hello, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to today's presentation. Today, we're exploring the art of being disliked, protecting your energy and building authentic relationships. We'll dive into why being disliked doesn't mean you're wrong, how to safeguard your energy, and how to build relationships that truly fit who you are. So, let's get started and discover how to navigate these important aspects with confidence and authenticity. We grow up with a quiet instruction: be likable. We're told to smile more, to not rock the boat, and to fit in. But the truth is, life isn't a popularity contest that you can win by flattering everyone. The reality is simpler and actually freeing. Some people just won't like you, no matter what you say, do, or become. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just reflects the fact that the world is full of diverse tastes, histories, and projections. Not every heart will recognize your unique flavor, and that's okay. Today, I'll explain why being disliked often isn't about you personally. I'll talk about how sometimes it can actually be healthy. We'll also cover how to set boundaries without feeling guilty, and I'll share practical steps for spending your limited time with the people who truly belong in your life. The key is understanding that your worth isn't determined by everyone's approval, and that's a powerful realization for living authentically. Let's talk about a fundamental truth. Taste and reaction are completely subjective. People see and interpret you through their own personal filters, shaped by their lifetime experiences, family patterns, hurts, and priorities. What might feel warm and genuine to you could seem threatening to someone else because it triggers a past wound. Similarly, what one person considers authentic might be seen by another as abrasive. Remember, good and bad are not objective labels that attach to you. They are reactions that people project onto you based on their own inner landscape. For example, if you set a boundary and say no to an invitation, one friend might feel relieved and respect you for it. But another friend might react with resentment because that no could trigger abandonment fears rooted in their childhood. It's important to realize that your boundary doesn't change your moral worth. It simply illuminates the other person's inner map, their fears, and their past experiences. So, when someone dislikes you or reacts negatively, I encourage you to ask yourself less, what's wrong with me? And more, what might their reaction be telling me about them, rather than about me? This shift in perspective helps you understand that reactions are often more about the other person's inner world than about your true self. Let's talk about why intention matters more than popularity. Sometimes, you can be liked and still be harmful. Manipulative people, for example, are often charming and likable on the surface. On the other hand, you might be genuinely kind, honest, and upright, but still find yourself disliked. So, liking someone doesn't necessarily mean they are morally aligned with us. What really matters is the intention behind their actions and the actual impact those actions have. If someone's intention is to harm or deceive, then even if they're liked, that dislike serves as valuable feedback. It's a sign to reflect on what's really happening beneath the surface. Conversely, if your intention is to honor yourself and others, if you're acting with integrity, then feeling disliked might just mean there's a mismatch or misunderstanding, not that you're morally wrong. The key takeaway here is to prioritize clarity of your own intentions and ethical actions over chasing universal approval. Because true integrity comes from acting in alignment with your values, regardless of whether everyone agrees or likes you. Remember, our goal is to stay true to what's right, not just to be popular. Boundaries will often upset people, and that's okay. It's important to remember that boundaries are a fundamental form of self-respect. When we say no, it can sometimes create a bit of friction in the short term. But that friction doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it often just means you're practicing healthy limits. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you decide not to take a late-night call because you know you need rest. Now, your friend might interpret that as rejection. But that upset is not a reflection of your character. It's simply a moment where honest communication can really make a difference. You could say, "I value you, but I need sleep to show up well tomorrow." The key takeaway here is to hold your boundaries gently. Explain when needed, but don't feel you have to sacrifice your energy just to avoid discomfort. Setting boundaries is about respecting yourself and encouraging others to do the same. People are projectors. You are not their soap opera. Psychology shows us that people often project their own internal material onto others. So, the way someone reacts to you is often a reflection of their internal script, not necessarily who you really are. If you notice that you're habitually disliked by a particular person, it's helpful to consider that their response might be more about their own history than about you. Here's an exercise you can try. Next time you receive strong criticism, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this about my behavior or could it be about their past? This simple question can help you avoid over-identifying with others' reactions and keep a clearer perspective. Remember, understanding this concept allows us to detach ourselves from unnecessary emotional reactions and maintain our own sense of calm and clarity. When many people like you, that's wonderful. It's a sign you're connecting well with others. But it's important to stay grateful and humble. Popularity can definitely lift your confidence, but be careful not to let it change your core values or your empathy, especially for those who might be quieter or less noticed. On the other hand, if you find that some people dislike you, remember to hold both awareness and self-compassion. You don't have to agree with their negative view, but acknowledging that it exists can help you stay grounded. It's about recognizing their feelings without letting them define your sense of self. There are two healthy ways to respond in these situations. First, be reflective. Ask yourself, is there useful feedback here? Do I need to apologize or make an adjustment? This shows openness and a willingness to grow. Second, stay grounded. Remind yourself, I accept they feel this way, but I know my integrity and values are still intact. By doing so, you protect your self-confidence and stay true to who you are, regardless of external opinions. This approach ties into the overall theme of maintaining authenticity and resilience, no matter how others perceive us. Now, let's talk about something really important. Don't waste your heart convincing the wrong people. Your time and emotional energy are limited resources. It's easy to fall into the trap of trying to persuade everyone around us, but the truth is, not everyone is ready or willing to understand and support our journey. So, instead of pouring energy into those who won't resonate with you, focus on the relationships where your presence is truly appreciated and reciprocated. These are the connections that uplift you and help you grow. Here, what I recommend. Start by auditing your relationships. Take a moment to ask yourself which connections energize you and which ones drain you. Be honest about that. Next, be intentional about choosing your audience. Share your path with those who genuinely appreciate your gifts and see your value. You don't need everyone's approval, only the right people's. And if you find yourself in situations where someone isn't aligned with your journey, it's okay to politely let them go. You can be courteous and respectful, saying something like, I respect you, but our paths are different, and then graciously move on. Remember, protecting your emotional energy is a vital part of staying true to yourself and your growth. Focus on the relationships that matter most and let go of the rest. Let's talk about some practical tools you can start applying today to reinforce your boundaries and maintain your well-being. First, there's the simple but powerful phrase, I appreciate you, but I can't do that right now. It's short, firm, and respectful, and it helps set clear limits without unnecessary drama. Next, I recommend keeping a reflection notebook. After any uncomfortable interaction, take a moment to write down what happened, what your intention was, and what you learned. The key here is to distinguish facts from your interpretations. This helps you stay grounded and aware of your true motivations versus assumptions. Another useful tool is managing your energy budget. Make a list of the people you spend time with over a week and note how each interaction makes you feel afterward. Are you energized or drained? Use this insight to reallocate your time toward those who refill your energy, strengthening your emotional resilience. Finally, try the compassion check when someone dislikes you. Instead of reacting defensively, internally say, I see you feel that way. I remain who I am. This phrase helps stabilize your emotions without giving up your truth, maintaining your authenticity even in difficult situations. These tools are about empowering you to navigate interactions with clarity and kindness, reinforcing your boundaries while staying true to yourself. So, for our final thoughts, I want to emphasize that true freedom really comes from inside acceptance. You see, you cannot control whether people like you or not. What you can control, though, are your own integrity, your intentions, and how you choose to steward your heart. That's where your power lies. Liberation happens when we accept this dual reality. Sometimes you will upset others, and that's okay. At other times, you will light up someone's life, and that's a beautiful thing. This polarity isn't a failure. It's actually the texture of a full and vibrant life. So I encourage you to be who you truly are. Protect your energy and surround yourself with those who recognize your worth. It's okay to be particular about who you let into your life. In fact, it's necessary because your life is finite. Fill it with the fierce, reciprocal love of the people who genuinely belong in it. And when you encounter someone who isn't your cup of tea, just wave politely and move toward those who do resonate with you. Remember, your authenticity and your boundaries are what lead to a life of genuine freedom and fulfillment.